Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, all the way from Sri Lanka. And I can see there's a lot of people joining from all around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are from. And can all of you go to the chat box and type ready if you are ready to get started? Can you go to the chat box, get your fingers busy, and type, ready, ready, ready if you guys are ready to get started? So if you guys are ready to get started, I assume you guys are not procrastinators, right? Procrastinators must be still procrastinating whether to log into this call, right? Because I remember last time I checked, I had about 150 registrations, right? So I'm sure there's a bunch of procrastinators out there still procrastinating, and you guys definitely are not. But I'm really thankful that each one of you are here, and I'm highly, highly, highly excited to see all of you. I can see some familiar faces, and it's such a wonderful feeling, right? So I have people from India, I have people from South Africa, I have people from Bahrain, Dubai. This is amazing, right? So if you have not already put in where you are from in the chat box, let me know which country, which city are you from, because I would love to know where you are joining me from, right? So hit it up. Let me know where you're from. Right. And while you guys are typing in as we are getting started, right? I'm so excited to see the numbers and I'm so excited to see all of you. I want to introduce myself formally. So, for those who don't know about me, you can get an idea who am I and why am I on this side of the screen, right? Uh, Talking to you about procrastination and indecisiveness, right? Who am I? Let me start sharing my screen. I. Right. So I hope you guys can see the screen. Let me introduce myself. My name is Lian Kirti Singha. I'm a Arfin Khan certified life coach and a success coach, right? With more than 17 years of experience in wide spectrum of fields such as coaching, banking, telecommunication, sales and marketing, branding, media, strategy, training and development, I bring a host of knowledge when I talk to you from all these fields and all the knowledge and the experience that I've been having. In terms of qualifications and professional qualifications, I'm a Tony Robbins graduate, UBW Firewalker, an Arfin Khan certified life transformation coach, and a chartered marketer and an MSc holder in strategic marketing. Marketing and branding has been my academic background, my passion. And as you can see, I'm a branding specialist and the founder of Lian K Design Solutions, which is another company that I'm running into logo designing, branding, web development, and so on and so forth. I'm also a suicide prevention counselor and a life coach on an international mobile app platform called the Expert Republic. I discovered my purpose and passion somewhere down the line, which is to empower people to discover their true potential and become the best version of themselves. And hence, I became a coach because I was so passionate about helping people to find their true self. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is who I am. And that is why I'm standing in front of you today to talk about this particular topic. But before doing that, I want to talk to you about my coaches, right? I've been coached under Tony Robbins and Arfin Khan, and this gentleman, Arfin Khan, has made a true amazing impact in my life. So, two of the best coaches that you would find in the world, right? Arfin Khan has been, coaching for the last 25 years across 49 plus countries, transforming over 600,000 lives, right? An amazing character. And when I talk to you, I bring in a host of knowledge that he has shared with me. So I'm a part of Arfin Khan University along with about the University has hosted about 6,000 coaches internationally worldwide. And even in my batch, we have about 200 international coaches from everywhere in the world. And Arfin is a high-end international coach who coaches Bollywood stars like Hrithik Roshan, Shah Rukh Khan's son, and top business people, right? So you guys get the benefit of getting all that amazing knowledge as, when you work with me as a coach, because I'm bringing the best of the best knowledge that is there in the world uh, of being a coach. I also wanted to briefly talk to you about what do I do as a coach? How do I help people, right? Because some people would be familiar with coaching, some people would not be. So, as a coach, I help people navigate through life's challenges. Sometimes it's about uh, solving problems, sometimes it's about decision making, right? Um, oops, sure about that. I help people unstuck themselves and move on, right? And there's a lot of people stuck, especially in the current circumstances of the country as well as the world. There's a lot of people who feel like they're stuck, whether it's in relationships, whether it's in career, whether it's in finances, whatever the area, right? I help people discover their purpose and passion and convert it into a money-making business model, right? Something that you can wake up every day saying, yes, it's Monday with so much of excitement, rather than waking up on a Monday saying, oh my God, I have to go to work, right? So discovering your purpose and passion can be quite liberating. I also help people to achieve goals and objectives and hold them accountable, overcome trauma and grief, and refocus that energy into something beautiful, right? I call it a bitter to beautiful transformation. Navigate through relationship challenges, discover, and also for in the coaching field, I also help people to discover your superpower and become a coach, create a program and become the coach that you want to be if you share a passion of helping others. And for those who are already coaches, I help them become a better version of themselves, a better coach, and increase their income. These are some of the things that I do as a coach. Wanted to share this so you have an idea who is this guy and what does he do, right? So I'm sure you guys are excited and wondering what is in store for today, right? Let's look at what we have in store for today. So we are here to discuss and understand about procrastination and indecisiveness, right? Some of you must be having that problem thinking, hey, I'm a procrastinator. I find it difficult to take decisions. Some of you are here because you want the knowledge, right? You want to learn more, whatever it is. Today, we are going to talk about the why, the what, and the how of procrastination and indecisiveness. And we are going to talk how to take action to overcome them, and how to take action in your life. Now, talking about taking action, towards the end of the program, I'm going to make you a very special offer. But I want to talk about it right now because I don't want you to feel like, hey, I came for a program. It was said that it's a free program, but this guy is talking to me about, coaching program. I don't want you to feel like that. So I'm going to be very upfront with you and tell you right now, towards the end of the program, I'm going to make a very special offer for my flagship program called the Success Blueprint. It's not for everyone. It it could be for you, but it's definitely not for everyone. It's for a special person who believes that they deserve the best in life, that enough is enough, and who's ready to take action to change their life and to find their true potential and find their true success and happiness, right? I'm going to talk about it later on, not now, because I want to give as much as time possible to help you understand more about procrastination and indecisiveness. So let's talk about procrastination and indecisiveness. What is procrastination and indecisiveness? Right? What do you think is procrastination and indecisiveness? Let me grab a sip of water. So, procrastination and indecisiveness are two completely different topics as you may see it initially. Right? Some people were asking me, Leon, why are you doing a workshop with two different topics? Can't you do two separate workshops? I will tell you why it's together, right? Procrastination is delaying your tasks, saying, I will do it later, right? Or turning a blind eye because you don't want to do them right now. And as a result, you might have piled up work and quite a bit of overwhelm later on. Indecisiveness is not being able to take decisions, right? Not being able to pick one of the two choices. Not being able to decide what am I going to do next, not being able to decide should I fire this guy or not, right? Or it could be as simple as am I going to go for pasta or am I going to go for pizza, right? Either ways, there's a lot of people out there who suffer from procrastination and indecisiveness. I make it sound like an illness. It is not, right? But when we look at this, what we really need to understand is both procrastination and indecisiveness are merely symptoms. They're absolutely not the root cause. That is how something which is stuck in the root cause, right? Roots comes out as a symptom. So procrastination and indecisiveness are merely symptoms. And what happens to most of us is when we try to, do something about procrastination or indecisiveness, we treat the symptoms. And what happens when you treat the symptoms, right? The symptoms go away, and after a while, the symptoms come back. Why? Because the root cause had not been removed. So to make lasting change, you need to discover and fix the root cause, and we are going to talk about that as well. So why do we procrastinate and find it hard to make decisions? Now, when we are talking about this, first and foremost, we need to understand the psychology behind procrastination and indecisiveness, right? Can someone put in the chat box, why do people procrastinate? Why do people find it hard to make decisions? What happens to them? Why do you feel like you get crippled? Right? Smita says fear. Okay, good. What else? Right? Wow, suddenly I'm getting a lot of replies. The chat box seems to be running wild. Okay. Leso says fear of losing. Reed says things being unclear. Sarah says lack of knowledge. Smita says what would people say? Prachi says lack and clarity. Madhavan says need more preparation, not having enough preparation. Jenny says overwhelm. What if I fail? Ownership, laziness, too many options to choose from, definitely. And lack of confidence, difficulty. Wow, these answers keeps on coming. So you guys exactly know why people procrastinate, right? But tell me this now that you are in the chat box, knowing all these reasons, do you still knowingly or unknowingly procrastinate? And do you knowingly or unknowingly sometimes find it difficult to make decisions? Give me a yes or no, right? Let's see how many people are at the receiving end of procrastination and indecisiveness, right? So if I was in the chat box, I too would type yes. Yes, I'm a coach, but I'm human. We all procrastinate and become indecisive at one point or the other. So the first thing is, it's okay to procrastinate or to be indecisive. What is not okay is to be stuck there, right? Let me say that again. It's okay to procrastinate or be indecisive, but it's not okay to be stuck there, right? So what do I mean? So let's first talk about the psychology of procrastination, right? And understand what happens, what leads us to procrastination. While there are so many reasons, right? I picked few that might resonate with you. Did you know that procrastination is a sort of a stress relief? Find it hard to believe. It's like taking a smoking break, right? People who smoke, when they're a bit stressed, they would just go out of their office or their home and have a quick smoke, right? Go to the balcony, have a quick smoke. Procrastination is sort of like taking a quick smoking break. When you're stressed about money or whatever and it overwhelms you, right? Sometimes you just don't want to attend to any of decision making or anything, right? Now think about it like this, right? Let's say there is a salesperson. The salesperson knows, right? You need to make 20 phone calls every day to do your sales and to create sales and to earn money. But that person is stressed and overwhelmed and hence procrastinate that one task that he or she has to do to make money. Now, this is why I say procrastination is sort of like a stress relief. And more you procrastinate and your brain finds comfort in procrastination because you've just put something that stresses you out or overwhelms you aside, and you keep on doing that again and again, your brain is going to say, hey, you know what? That sounds good. That sounds good, right? And it's going to flood you with what is called dopamine. Dopamine is a feel-good hormone, right? So every time you go onto your social media, see how many likes your friends have given your nice profile picture, play a video game, eat some junk food, watch your favorite Netflix episode, lying on your couch without doing anything, or even getting some good sleep, right? Your brain floods you with dopamine, which makes you feel good. So the same hormone gets into your brain, or your brain floods dopamine when you sometimes procrastinate and stays away from something that really stresses you out. And if your brain gets used to doing that, it's going to say, hey, you know what? Every time it procrastinates, I'm going to make it feel good. And more you start feeling good, you're like, you know what? I feel good. I don't need to do this work. I'll do it tomorrow, right? So this is the psychology behind procrastination. Let's talk about indecisiveness, right? Now, although you might feel indecisiveness is a separate topic altogether, why I put these two together is now indecisiveness is categorized as decisional procrastination, right? It's a decisional procrastination. It's a sort of procrastination that you do deciding, right? Deciding, let me not do it now, or let me not take a decision, right? I'd rather not take any decision. Why? Because I don't want to be the person who's responsible for it, because it stresses me out, right? So the best option becomes, let me just put it aside. I can't take a decision. And your brain starts saying you can't take decisions. And sometimes we tell stories saying I can't take decisions, right? So indecisiveness and procrastination is very much connected together, right? It's very much connected together. Now, why am I talking about indecisiveness and procrastination? I want to tell you, although I stand in front of you as a coach, I have been the king of procrastination and being indecisive, right? I have been the king, right? I've procrastinated a lot in my life, and I've been so indecisive. I almost end up committing suicide at one point because I found it very difficult to handle my life's problems, right? Procrastination, on the other end, when you get overwhelmed, when you get stressed, you just leave things aside. But one of the key reasons why I became a coach was I was in a 12-year marriage, which, crumbled down. I was in such a bad place. I was suicidal, like I said, right? It ended at one point, right? And the sadness drove me into the lowest point in my life. But I took a decision to rise from that and to rewrite my story. But until that happened, even knowing that marriage was, is not going the way that I want, and there were so many problems, which I'm not going to go into detail, I could not take a decision for 2 years. And I'm sure when I say this, there are so many people out there stuck in business partnerships, marriage, relationships, and so many different modalities where you are finding it very difficult to take a decision, whether you want to stay or leave, right? That is also a form of indecisiveness. Whatever the reason may be, when you find it very difficult to take decisions, you end up suffering, right? So why I wanted to share my story is just to make you understand, if you are procrastinating or if you are finding it hard to decide, whether it's deciding between two meals in a menu or something as big as your marriage or business partnership where your life depends on, right? Whatever it is, you are not alone. Everyone at one point go through these phases in life, right? Enough said about me. Let's look at top reasons why people are procrastinating and are indecisive, right? Can I hear from you? Do you guys want to know why what are the top reasons why people are procrastinating and stay indecisive? Can I see in the chat box? Would you love to see the reasons? Yes, yes. And why I'm asking questions is I don't want two reasons. I don't want you guys to fall asleep. And I don't want me to be the guy who's just talking, because in my country, there are enough and more power cuts. Just imagine a power cut happens. I have no idea what has happened. And I'm just talking because when I'm in the presentation mode, I hardly can see your faces, right? So just imagine I'm talking here right now to my screen and you guys are not there. So please interact with me every now and then. It helps me to stay connected, right? Super. Thank you very much for all the yeses. Let's look at these reasons. Reason number one, focus, right? What am I talking about? How can focus be a reason for procrastination or being indecisive, right? Now, when something happens, when you have to take a decision, right? When you have to take a decision, where are you focusing on, right? Now, there's always this discussion about value now versus value later, or urgency now versus urgency later. So if your value now in Netflix is much bigger than value later, which is doing your homework, getting that presentation done for which you have like a week, you are going to procrastinate that. Even if your urgency now, not to miss that episode, is much greater than urgency later, because you know to do that presentation, you have one more week, you are going to procrastinate, right? So in this example, watching Netflix, right, is going to feel more rewarding than studying or finishing that presentation until the time runs out. But here's the thing. What happens the day before the exam or day before the presentation? Now that the time has shrunken, your value proposition changes because your urgency changes. At that point, you're going to start studying or doing the presentation, right? And put your Netflix and everything aside. So where you focus on, whether it's now or later, and how you look at this value and urgency proposition changes everything. Because what happens is this: when you look at doing the tedious task right now, you become overwhelmed, right? You get overwhelmed and you are like, you know what, I'm going to procrastinate. Now I'm going to ask you a question. I want someone to unmute and answer, right? How do you eat an elephant? Can someone unmute
in
and
small
answer?
pieces.
If you can't by any chance unmute,
Small
do let me
pieces.
know. I think you should be able to unmute. But,
In
yeah,
small
you can
pieces.
unmute yourselves. Can I see a champ in this particular training workshop? Unmute and say, how do you eat an elephant?
One
Because
bite at
either
a
way, I'm
time.
going to get someone to answer that question, right? And at the same time, so for the first time, I'm actually looking at the screen. Can I get all the participants, unless you have a very special reason, please switch on your camera. I would love to see your beautiful faces, right? Unless you are on the road or, a difficult place where you can switch on the camera, please switch on the camera, right? And every time I'm looking aside, I'm looking at a bigger screen, which has your faces, right? Okay, so I'm going to bring Jenny up. Jenny,
Hi there.
can I hear from you?
Okay, one bite at a time, one tiny bite at a time.
One tiny bite at a time. Exactly, right? How do you eat an elephant? One tiny bite at a time. And the same concept goes to all your work, right? One bite at a time. Thank you very much, Jenny, for that, right? So what happens to all of us is sometimes when we look at a task, we get overwhelmed. Why? Because it's like eating an elephant, right? It's so big. It's like climbing the Mount Everest. But if you really look at it and break it down into, small action points, you just have to do the first step. You just have to take the first step. So where you focus on completely changes your experience in terms of whether you procrastinate or not, right? Let's see what else is there. Unresolved limiting beliefs. Now, this is an amazing area, right? Now, trauma, right? And defining moments that you've had as a child or in the past, right, creates certain beliefs that can push you to procrastinate and be indecisive. Why? Because your subconscious believes it safeguards you, right? It safeguards you. So every time you procrastinate, your subconscious is actually trying to help you from being overwhelmed, getting into anxiety, getting into panic attacks, and being stressed. So actually, it's your friend doing something that is good for you, but in reality, it is not actually good for you. You need to understand this, right? So let me tell you a story. So I was very indecisive, right? I couldn't take decisions. Not that I couldn't take decisions. I knew what to take as a decision, but I wanted to satisfy everyone, right? So I would ask everyone for their opinions. And sometimes, as a leader in an organization, I know what to do, and I keep on asking everyone what they believe. And someone tells a different answer. If I'm a people pleaser, now I have another problem saying, no, I'm going to do something else, right? So it got me into a lot of trouble. So I was working with one coach at one time, and I told him, I have this problem. I can't take decisions. How do I fix it? Or why does it happen? He asked me a series of nice questions. I'm going to tell you this. If it relates to you, think about it. He asked me, when you're small, let's say you want to go to a party, whom do you go and ask? I said, definitely my dad, because he wore the pants in the house and tough guy. So I would go to my dad and ask, Dad, my so-and-so friend is having a party on this particular day. Can I go? He asked me, what would he say? He would tell me, go and ask mom. Then what do you do? I go and ask mom. Then he asked me, so what does your mom tell? I just thought and said, my mom would say, go and ask dad. And then what happens? I go and ask dad again. I would say, I asked mom. She told me to ask it from you. And he would be like, no, go and ask mom. And I would go to mom. Mom would be like, go and ask dad. And they would play this game of ping pong, a never ending game of ping pong, right? Until I feel sick and tired. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. So moment I gave this answer to my coach, and I kept on looking at him, and he asked me, do I need to tell why you are finding it difficult to take decisions? And I had this epiphany, right? This amazing moment saying, oh my God, that's why I'm finding it difficult to take decisions. Because as a child, maybe they were great decision makers, right? But what I chose to pick was incidents like that where they did not take a decision for me when I wanted. So I felt like decisions are something where you keep on going back and forth, playing this game of ping pong, right? And trying to satisfy everyone else. I definitely have learned the wrong lesson from my parents, but that's what I chose, right? So all of us have these defining moments, which has created certain, I call them coding, right? Coding in our brain, which makes us look at the world and do things in a certain way, right? So this is what I say, unresolved limited beliefs. And also, people sometimes feels I'm not good enough. I don't deserve, right? So when they feel like this, they find it very difficult to take decisions or to do tasks that they're supposed to. Let me tell you an example. So I had this client, right? She was into sales.
15 out of Taylor Sweet.
Sorry, can we get the mics muted, team? So I had this client. She was in sales. She wanted to do more sales, but she was struggling. So we had this conversation. So I was asking, okay, so how much of sales do you want to do? How many deals does that mean? To get that many deals, how many proposals you have to send? How to send that many proposals? How many meetings do you have to have? And to have that many meetings, how many qualified calls do you need to have? And to have that many qualified calls, how many people do you have to talk? And based on that, how many people do you have to call per day? She said very easily, 20 calls a day. So I asked him, so are you making those 20 calls a day? She was like, no. I asked, how many people did you call? She was like, about 5 people for the entire month. And I'm following on all those 5 proposals. I said, that's not how sales work. So we went into the depth of understanding why she's not making the calls when she exactly knows that she has to make 20 calls to get the results. Turns out that based on past incidents that she has had, trying to call clients, talking to clients, going for meetings, certain things where clients shouted at her, clients harassed her, said certain things that she doesn't want to listen to, made certain advances that she does not appreciate. Because of all these things, there has been these barricades and barricades of um, resistance that is created in a subconscious, saying making calls and meeting plans is bad. Now here she is struggling to become a good salesperson, bringing in revenue, earning commissions, but her subconscious is continuously giving her messages saying, don't do that because this will happen again. Now, if you have a situation like that, you don't have congruence, right? Meaning which your inner world and your outer world is not in harmony, right? And when your inner world and not outer world is not in harmony, another bad thing happens. Your state drops, right? Now, each one of us right now is in some kind of a state. Sometimes we could be in a good state, a very good state, an average state, below average state, or a destructive state, right? Sometimes when you are going through the darkest times in your life and you feel like, let's say, suicidal or really stupid, you are in a destructive state. Maybe when you are in love, maybe you are in a very good state, right? So we are in some kind of state. Through experience, I know 70% of the time, most of the people are in an average state. Sometimes they think it's a good state, but just because it's not bad, it's not good, right? We are in an average state. So what I just told before, which is your unresolved limiting beliefs and the congruence issues that you have where your inner world and outer world is not in harmony, brings your state down. And when your state is down, right, you struggle to take decisions or to stick to your deadlines or to get things done, right? So here's the thing. Now, you guys would have done your personality test, right? Each one of you would have received an email with a personality test, which is very valuable. And some of you would have done it. Others are definitely procrastinators, right? So if you have done it, can you go to the chat box and put in your chat, what is your personality type? Right? I would love to see. So we have a reformer. And for those who haven't done it, they'll be like, what is he even talking about, right? Sentinel, helper, reformer, helper, peacemaker, sentinel, reformer, helper, investigator, reformer, sentinel, investigator, peacemaker, right? What else? What else, guys? Individualist, right? Investigator. Awesome. Right? Helper. So you guys have done your personality test, right? Now, if you have done your personality test, you would have downloaded the PDF and read the 5 states. Now, what the report says is in each one of those states, how do you think, feel, and act? Right? How do you think, feel, and act? And if you read the top 2 states, which is very good and good state, you would realize when you are in that kind of a state, because it tells you exactly how you think, feel, and act, you can be more resourceful, you can be more productive, you can be motivated, inspired, driven, creative, amazing, right? And when you're in a state like that, you don't procrastinate or you don't struggle to make decisions, right? Because you get connected with your true self, you are in your power. But what happens when your state drops? When you get into an average, below average, and a destructive state, right? You struggle to make decisions. Sometimes even to buy something, even to invest in yourself, you struggle to take decisions. You don't know what to do because you don't want to blame yourself. You don't want to be at the receiving end of making a wrong choice. As a result, you don't make any choice. That's exactly why a lot of people go into, let's say self-development and programs like this, and they find it very difficult to invest in themselves because you can't figure out what to do. And as a result, they take no action, and no action means being stuck where they are. So they find it very difficult to change their lives, right? And talking about programs, which I would talk about later, I have an amazing program which is called the Success Blueprint, which is designed particularly to help a person take themselves from a below average or an average state to a good and a very good state, right? And to sustainably be there every time you go down, to quickly go into a good and a very good state, because that's where the magic happens. And a person who learns to stay in a good and a very good state, like I said, can always be creative, resourceful, motivated, inspired, driven, connected with your true power, true self, and explore your true potential. Those are the people that you see everything that they do, like they have the Midas touch where whatever you touch turns to gold, everything works out fine. I'm sure you have people, right? You look at them and say, how do they even do it? Everything that they do just works out fine. Now, those are the people in a good and very good state. I would like to ask from you a question. Do you like to learn how to be in a good and a very good state? Give me a quick response in the chat box. Does that sound like something that interests you? Would you like to learn how to get into a good and a very good state, right? Because that's where the magic happens, right? Amazing. Now, I spoke about personality types, didn't I? Because see, based on each one of your personality types, if you read your report, what you think, say, and act in these 5 states are completely different, right? If you have a friend, can I have the mics muted, T?
Are you in class? If you are.
Sorry about that, guys. So if you have a friend read his or her report, you will see the content is completely different. It's completely connected to your personality type, right? So reason 4 is your personality type, because your personality type based subconscious programming also, and the lack of awareness, right, defines how you delay stuff, why you find it very difficult to take into decisions, right? Now, you would have seen only your personality type, some of you, right? So this is based on a personality classification type called the Enneagrams. There are 9 personality types, and each one of us is a combination of this. Why I say a combination is I'm an individualist, but I'm an individualist with an achiever wing, right? So I have all the characteristics of an individualist and some relevance or characteristics of an achiever, right? So likewise, when you do the personality test, you can understand about it. If you don't understand enough of your personality type, you can get in touch with me after the workshop, set up a time to learn how you can leverage your personality type for your true success and your happiness, right? And that's a help that I'm willing to give you. Now, coming back to what we were talking, why I say the reason 4 is your personality type is based on your personality type, you will find these reasons to procrastinate and to be indecisive. Now, this is very interesting. All you reformers out there, you guys are perfectionists, right? That itself becomes a problem because you want to do things perfectly. You will procrastinate, saying, I will do it when I have the right resources. I will do it when I have the right time because I want to do it perfectly, right? Now, I've been a perfectionist. Let me tell you one thing. Being a perfectionist didn't get me anywhere. And at one time, I got coached from a superb coach called Rajiv Talreja. I think he's India's one of the best sales coaches. He taught me something. Version 1 is better than version none. And I keep on telling this like a prayer, right? And moment that phrase got into my head and I started believing that version 1 is better than version none, my life's progress started happening. Rather than waiting till I perfect everything, I started getting the ball rolling. So reformers, you guys are procrastinating most of the time, right? This is not the only reason, but most of the time because you believe in perfectionism, and that gets you to delay things. Helpers, you will always put others' needs first before you, right? So you would procrastinate on your work and get other things done because your priorities are different. Achievers do not want to look back. So sometimes they are worried, which decision am I going to take? Because what happens if I take this decision? Would I look bad? Or what happens if I take this decision, right? Or maybe, you know what, I'm going to think about it later because it's stressing me out. An individualist like me would not know what I want because I'm still looking for who I am. An individualist is a bunch of people, very rare kind, very emotional, very romantic. They would always want to keep on finding who am I, because we are in a constant journey of figuring ourselves out. And if I don't know who I am, I don't know what I want, how can I take decisions, right? Investigators, kings and queens of overthinking. They would think until they are paralyzed. That itself leads them to procrastinate. Sentinels, on the other hand, are fear-based personalities, right? Because they see the worst possible outcome. what might go wrong? What happens if I do this? What happens if I do this? Maybe, things might go wrong. So you keep on analyzing once again, just like the investigators, they are in the triad where they think, right? Thinkers. So they can think out of fear or whatever the reason until nothing happens. Enthusiasts, on the other hand, they are the life of the party, right? But they have self-doubt, they have self-confidence issues, because as much as they would love to show the world a very flamboyant image, there is a part in them who is not sure about yourself, who is not confident about yourself, who feels that I am not good enough. And with that insecurity, sometimes they struggle to take decisions. Challenges, on the other hand, type 8, I actually couldn't find anything online why they would find it difficult to take decisions, because usually challenges are very confident and very decisive, whether right or wrong, because they would always want to bulldoze others, prove their point, and say, this is how it's been done, and I'm doing this, right? So usually they come out very confident and decisive. Peacemakers, on the other hand, they are people pleasers. And when you want to please everyone else, you are the last person you please. So if you have, based on your personality, these could be one of the main reasons linked to your personality that you're procrastinating and indecisive, right? Can I see a raise of hand of a person who can relate to this? When I say raise your hand, please raise your digital hand. I would like to hear from someone how relevant it is. And okay, Reet, I'm gonna bring you up, ask to unmute and spotlight you. Hi, Reet, how are you? Oops.
Hi,
Yeah.
Lian. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. So what is your personality type, Reet?
So I'm a reformer.
Okay, wow, wonderful. Yeah. So does this resonate with you, what I said?
Oh, yes, a lot. I would say 200%, because I really delay my work just because when this will happen, I'll do this. Let this fall at place, then I will do this. I can so much relate to what you just said. And it's an eye opener for me, I would say rather.
Super. Thanks, Reed, for sharing that. I would also like to hear from Jenny. Jenny, if you can unmute yourself.
Yes, I think
hi, Jenny.
For me, hi. I'm a sentinel, and see, the worst possible outcome is very, very common. But it's a funny situation there because, for example, let's say I'm a coach, so I'm looking for clients, and I need to do certain things, for argument's sake, write my website or whatever to get that going. Interesting thing is that I will procrastinate on that, knowing that the outcome is that I won't get clients. I know that that's the outcome, and I still need to do it. So the fear actually cripples you. It actually completely debilitates you and stops you doing what you should be doing.
Absolutely. And what Jenny says, I think a lot of everyone else also can resonate to that, right? Sometimes, the fact that you're procrastinating is giving you the worst outcome possible, or it's not giving you the outcome you want, but people struggle to, not procrastinate, right? And once again, like we discussed, if you go back into your negative beliefs, limiting beliefs, the codes that are trapped in your head, the childhood trauma, the experiences, some of the answers are there. And sometimes, working with a coach can really help you overcome that. So thank you very much, Jenny, for sharing that. We have a few other people also with the hands up. How about Asha? Asha, if you can unmute yourself.
Hi, Lynn. This is Asha. So,
hi, Asha.
How are you? So I totally resonate because I'm a reformer.
You're also a reformer, okay?
Yeah. So I always try to add on, okay, I should add more value to it, too. And because of that reason, I'm not able to finish my task. So it's going into procrastination.
Super. Thank you very much for sharing that, Asha. And we have Leso Kumar. Leso, if we can have you unmute.
Myself, I tech into a reformer, and then that's the same reason. I mean, like all the time we want to do something better, and then that's always putting us things to do it later. So
Right.
it is actually connected me. I mean, and in other terms, the overthinking also actually at certain point, I mean, up to certain level, that also connected a lot.
Absolutely. Right. Like I said, your personality type does not mean that you are only procrastinating because of this, but this could be predominant because these characteristics that I've mentioned here is like one of the main characteristics of your personality type, right? Now, when I procrastinate because of perfectionism. I procrastinate because I put others' needs first, not wanting to look bad, very little of overthinking. I'm not a thinker, but people pleasing. So I would have a bunch of reasons like this, right? So thank you very much, Lesukuma, for sharing that. So similarly, each one of you can relate. And if you have not done your personality test, I would urge you to do your personality test, right? I would urge you to do your personality test because the personality test would have been received only if you are one of the first 100 registrants. Like I said, there were about 150 registrations for this workshop. So use the maximum of that opportunity because it's a great thing to discover about yourself, because I would say that's one of the most liberating things to discover about yourself, right? Now we have a very interesting activity, right? I'm going to talk about 4 types of procrastinators, and I want you to figure out which type are you, right? So let me start reading. Listen carefully, right? Type number 1 is the performer. Type number 2 is the self-deprecator. Type 3 is the overbooker. Type 4 is the novelty seeker, right? Let's look at what kind of a person is the performer, right? This procrastinator forces themselves to focus by shrinking time they have to tackle a task. For many of our clients, the real reason behind this is perfectionism, right? If you are tight on time, there is no way a task can be done to you unreasonably high standards anyway, right? For others, the issue is simply falling back into old patterns and beliefs that we have both in our 11th hour saves, right? So this is the type of people who would say, I work well under pressure, right? But they keep on delaying because they want to do things perfectly, like we discussed, right? And they have unreasonably high standards, right? Even sometimes high standards that you can't hold yourself, right? So the biggest challenge for them is getting started, right? Obviously, as a procrastinator, the biggest challenge that they have is getting started. And the solution is flip the script and set a date, right? And the simplest thing that you can say is, you know what? I'm going to start it on this particular day. When you focus on you're going to start a task, you have a higher tendency to get it started, right? So for performers, if you feel like you are a performer, right, who has an unrealistic high standard of things and keep on procrastinating because of that reason, what you need to do is take one task that you have been procrastinating right now, put it in your calendar, your phone, set a schedule, set an alarm, and say, I'm going to do this at this time. Put a start to it. If you're a type 2 self-deprecator, right? The self-deprecator who says, I'm so lazy right now, right? This procrastinator is the opposite of lazy. So they they don't do something they are extra hard on themselves. We see this a lot with our male clients. They tend to blame inaction on laziness or stubbornness rather than admit that they are tired. What they really need is to be more compassionate with themselves, right? The biggest challenge for deprecators are taking a break. We already know that you are going to say, I don't have time to rest. This is the type of people who say, I don't have time to rest, right? But in reality, they are so tired of and overwhelmed of doing so much, but they will never say that. They would say, I'm so lazy, right? They'd rather say that they're lazy than say that they're tired, because sometimes saying that I'm tired is sort of like putting yourself down. That's how they feel. They feel that they are not enough if they are tired to do those tasks, right? So they'd rather tell that they're lazy than say that they're tired. The solution for self-deprecators is to recharge. Try taking a walk or give yourself space to begin and rebuild that energy. So if you feel like you're a type 2, a self-deprecator, you need to take a rest. You need to take a good break, right? That will really help you. Type 3, the overbooker, right? The person who says, I'm so busy, right? This procrastinator is a pro at filling up their calendar and is often overwhelmed. Have you seen that person, your friend, who has a calendar that is like so booked that they themselves are overwhelmed looking at it, right? I am so busy is probably the excuse that you hear most often from them. Interestingly, some of the busiest people we work with get the most done, right? When busyness comes up as an excuse for not doing something is usually indicated in avoidance, right? The biggest challenge for these people is creating chaos to avoid facing what you need to face right now. Typically not this task, right? So they are not doing a particular task, not just because they have overbooked their calendar, but there is an underlying reason. But the fact that I am so busy is the reason that they are proud to tell everyone as the reason that they're procrastinating. The solution, if you are an overbooker, is to take a moment in introspect and ask yourself, what am I really avoiding? That is the real question. Because like I said, being busy is not the real reason. They're actually avoiding something. So going to a quiet corner and asking yourself, what am I really avoiding, would help you if you are a overbooker. Number 4 is a novelty seeker who says, I just had the best idea, right? Let's look at what kind of procrastinator is he. This procrastinator has a terminal case of shiny object syndrome. They are constantly coming up with new projects to take on and then getting bored with them a week later. They're intrigued by the latest trend and will be quick to implement, but not to follow through. Right? This is the kind of person who keeps on changing, keeps on picking up new things, saying, hey, you know what? I saw this new thing and change his or her attention completely. Right? They are great at making decisions and taking decisions. However, they end up inadvertently losing a lot of time and burning out because they don't take consistent action in one direction long enough to see the results. Many of our entrepreneurial clients fit into this category, right? Because you don't do what you have to do, taking action long enough to get results. Halfway through, you just navigate into other distractions. The biggest challenge for novelty seekers is completion. And the solution is to make it stick, literally. Write down your ideas or projects on a sticky note and don't pursue them until you finish what you are currently working on. Now think, are you type 1, type 2, type 3, or type 4? Let me tell you, I think I'm a novelty seeker, right? I have this shiny object syndrome, right? I change my attention every now and then to new things, right? So I feel like I'm a novelty seeker. Put in the chat box, what do you think? Are you a type 1, 2, 3, or a 4? Let's hear from you, right? Do you think you're a performer, right? Someone who has unrealistic standards? Are you a self-deprecator who says, I'm lazy rather than just admitting the fact that you are like really tired? Are you an overbooker who is actually avoiding the real reason, right? Putting the fact that you are so busy to the front? Or are you a novelty seeker who has this shiny object syndrome and the distraction, right? So we are getting some answers. Let's see how our audience looks like. We have a 2, a 4, a 1, a 4, a 1, overbooker, that is 3, right? 1, 2, 3, 3, right? Great. So you can see these types are there, right? So now that you know the challenge as well as the solution, start making a change. Now, while discussing, I just want to share 2 stories with you guys. Right? This is one of my clients, and obviously I'm sharing this information with her permission, right? She was struggling to make results in and needed. So she says, I was struggling with making the results I needed at work and reached out to Liam in seek of coaching to overcome this and to improve my work performance. Through coaching, what I realized was that I was not performing as I was not putting in the required effort And this was happening due to a certain subconscious reprogramming and limiting beliefs that I was dealing with, that was created in the past, right? So similar, same case that we discussed, right? Coming into awareness, purely coming into awareness, right? What she's trying to avoid, right? What she's trying to get away from, right? Coming into awareness helped me to take the necessary action to overcome these limitations, and to take action and make results, right? Now, this is a very nice example. Jenny told us she's procrastinating, knowing that the procrastination is not going to take her to the results that she wants, right? But if she keeps on dealing with her subconscious programming, asking why exactly she's doing it, she would realize at some point there would have something happened, or some belief that was created that is preventing her from taking results. Because, ladies and gentlemen, hear this. This sounds very funny, but this is true. I talk to a lot of clients and help people to get through procrastination and indecisiveness, right? Most of the time, your brain, your subconscious, would rather accept failure because fear of rejection or fear of another subconscious belief is much more higher. So you would rather fail rather than getting rejected. Typical example in a salesperson's career. Now, I've been into sales for almost 2 decades, right? I'm a hardcore salesperson. Now, and I tell that with great pride, because that is what really helped me to understand human psychology. Because I decided I'm not going to be a salesperson like typical every other salesperson. I want to know what makes a person take decision, right? So what I realized was, even though I'm a salesperson, fear of rejection stands out as one of the biggest demons that I have to battle with constantly, right? And sometimes it doesn't go away, but when you are aware about it, you can find your breakthroughs and take action. And that's what coaching does. Coaching allows you to create powerful realizations and breakthroughs. As a coach, I can't change your personality. I can't change how you do things, but I can give you the realizations and the clarity that is required to get into the power to change what you're doing. And that's exactly what happened to Denusha. And she's, making waves in her work, creating results now that she knows the problem. Let's look at another story, right? This gentleman, Einar, he says, I reached out to Leon when I felt like I was stuck in my business and was not making progress, right? I knew what I needed to do to get results, but for some reason, I felt like I'm stuck. Now, do you feel like that as well? You feel like you're stuck in your business, nothing is happening, you need to get results, but you feel like you're stuck, right? He says, Leon helped me to realize that the processes and the strategies I was using in my business was not suited for a business of my size. And the pricing and the processes needs to be reworked while re-strategizing the operations. Now, this had less to do with beliefs, but this was more on an operational level. This gentleman was having a relatively smaller company who was following pricing and processes that large companies follow. Now, as a coach, all I did was I was directing him, guiding him to make these powerful realizations. Because before making these realizations, he was procrastinating, he was struggling to make decisions. Why? Because he felt stuck. Now, once the realizations happened, he was like, I know exactly what I need to do. And this gentleman is a type 3, an achiever, a true achiever who has an amazing potential, right? Amazing potential of, doing anything and everything right. But even a person like that can feel stuck, right? He says, thanks to the clarity I received, I could reorganize my business strategy and line up it to success. Now, these are some stories, right? I just wanted to share with you because sometimes we procrastinate for various types of reasons, but we can overcome them. So let's talk about how to overcome procrastination and indecisiveness. While there are so many different ways to overcome procrastination, in the essence of time, I'm going to share a few tactics that I personally used on myself, and I've shared it with some people who work with me and have worked wonderfully. And some of these tricks or tips or methods are so simple, right? You would be like, what? Seriously? That's what you would feel like, right? My first and the best favorite technique is called the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, right? So the 5-4-3-2-1 technique allows you to quickly do something that you have been procrastinating, or get through a situation that you are struggling with. If there is anyone who knows about this technique, who has used this technique, please put your hand up. I would like to see, right? 5-4-3-2-1 technique is, let's say, okay, I will tell you a practical scenario. I told you how indecisive that I was, right? So let's say I take a menu to my hand in the restaurant. This actually happened with my two fellow coaches who are there, right? In this call. One day we were ordering lunch. Both of them made the order. I'm now looking at the menu, thinking what to order, right? And I'm down to two choices, right? And I'm thinking, am I going to go for the pasta, or am I going to go for the rice item? Am I going to go for the pasta and the rice item? Trust me, I could be thinking about that for 24 hours, because that's how indecisive a person can be. What did I do? Number one, I came into my awareness saying, now I'm being indecisive. It's becoming awkward because both of them have ordered. What did I do? I just told in my head, 5-4-3-2-1, boom, I picked a dish. How difficult can it be? The worst outcome is it's the worst dish that you're going to pick, right? But you have a 50-50 chance. So what did I do? I said 5-4-3-2-1 and took a decision. So every time you feel like you're stuck for a decision, it's like flipping a coin, right? Say 5-4-3-2-1 and take a decision. Within those 5 seconds, not even 5 seconds, in that count of 5, tell yourself, I'm going to take a decision, as hard as it can be. But because you can tell yourself, because nothing different is going to happen, right? 5-4-3-2-1, right? And when you're procrastinating and you know you've been procrastinating this task, quickly say 5-4-3-2-1 and pick that task and do it. Now you might be like, that sounds silly. I don't know whether that can work, but trust me, when you start doing it, it can work, right? And are there anyone who knows this technique, who has done this before? Please raise your digital hand, not your real hand, because I would not be able to see, right? So yesterday I was talking to, okay, we have Mariam. Let me bring her up. Unmute. Mariam, can you unmute and hi, am I there? Can you speak up?
Yeah, Leon.
Hi. So tell us,
Hi.
how have you implemented this technique and how has it helped you?
Mostly I use it when I have to wake up because that is the hardest thing in the morning. So
The first
when
decision in the
the
morning,
alarm,
right?
yeah, instead of snoozing it, I try to say the 5-4-3-2-1 and just put my leg down.
Excellent. So
Because
it
it
works for
helps
you every
me
time?
not to think of okay, excuses. Okay, I'll do it later. I'll wake up late. I'll snooze this thing before I start thinking like that. As soon as you wake up and you say 5-4-3-2-1 and just jump, that you don't regret it at all after that. You're grateful for it.
Super. And I think what Mariam said was a wonderful point. Everyone give Mariam a round of applause for using that technique to overcome procrastination and indecisiveness. And she told a beautiful thing, because that method doesn't give your brain to get into the whole logical and emotional thinking, right? You're saying 5-4-3-2-1 and I'm gonna take a decision at the end of it. It's like when you have a very cold pool that you want to jump into and you're finding enough and more reasons to dip your toes and say, I can't, right? Just say 5-4-3-2-1 and jump. It's just like that, right? And more you do it, more you can train yourself to become more efficient. You know where I do this? I do this when I open the shower, because most often I open the shower and I'm like, okay, the water is too cold. I just want to, just go in slowly. No, say 5-4-3-2-1 and boom, in the shower. So you can start using this technique to train yourself, because you get better at it every time you do it, right? The second technique is the 15-minute rule. Now, your to-do list will have a lot of tasks, right, which you are procrastinating. Set a time on your smartphone or your watch for 15 minutes. Take one of those tasks, that you have been, not doing for the longest time, and just do it. Now, what's the significance of this? Because you're going to tell your brain, and if 15 minutes sounds too big, bring it down to 5 minutes, right? What you're telling your brain is, although it's going to be stressful and overwhelming, I'm just going to deal with it for 5 minutes or 15 minutes. Maybe that is something that I can take, right? And you start it. And sometimes when you start it, you realize, hey, it wasn't as bad as I expected. If you want, you complete it, right? But if not, at the end of that 5-minute or the 15-minute timer, you put it back. The importance is you are actually getting things done, right? This 15-minute rule really works if you have a long list of things that you are contemplating. The third technique, schedule your tasks. Now, this is a real screenshot from my calendar, right? So can you see, now this was the calendar when I was becoming a coach, right? I was, before I started coaching full time. Now, I did not have client appointments, right? But what I did was I scheduled time for each task, for business development, for learning, for marketing and lead generation, writing a book, right? And, anything like that, I scheduled a time. Why? Because rather than picking up a task and doing it when I feel it, when I put it on the calendar, it gets done. And here's my calendar right now, right? Now, everything goes there. Even my personal time goes there, right? I want to go shopping, that also goes there. I want to, meet up with friends for drinks, that also goes there. And I've color coded it. I've put different colors. So I can understand, identify. I have different types of notifications and bells and alarms for different types of tasks. So this helps me to hold myself accountable. So scheduling your tasks can be a very, very powerful method, right? That also brings, now I spoke about holding yourself accountable, accountability, right? So when you are accountable to someone else, right? When you get someone else to hold you accountable, that also ensures that you procrastinate less, take decisions, because you are held accountable. You need to get things done. Here's the interesting things. I have clients, right? CEOs, directors, who have taken me as a coach purely to hold them accountable. They're like, nothing much to coach. I don't want coaching, but I have to do this. And I want someone to check in with me periodically and make sure I get them done. And if I hit a stumbling block, I want some coaching, but more than coaching, it's accountability, right? And I have an accountable coach as well, right? Oshadi, who's on this call, is my accountability coach, right? She holds me accountable for the things that I have to do. Now, even if you're a coach, sometimes you need a coach to hold you accountable, right? Because when people hold you accountable, things get done. I don't know whether Charishma is on this call today. She's one of my friends who is also a coach, right? There was something that she wanted to achieve, and we agreed to be accountable, or I agreed to hold her accountable for 1 week until she gets done. So for the last 3 days, she has been taking action that she never took for so many months, just because I'm holding her accountable, right? So similarly, if you are struggling, getting someone to hold you accountable could be a great way to overcome procrastination and indecisiveness. And the next one is understanding the root cause, right? Because like I mentioned, it's like cutting down a tree. No matter how many branches you cut, right? It's gonna branch out again. Treating your symptoms is something like that. Now, all that we discussed up to now is ways that you treat the symptom, right? But your real answers, procrastination and indecisiveness, comes when you resolve the problem at the root, when you unroot the causes. Now, what are some of these root causes, right? Given the time that we have, I think I can share a few. One of the biggest, root causes is the negative beliefs, like we discussed, right? The belief systems that have been created over time, because as long as those beliefs are there, right? which you even don't know, you procrastinate. Sometimes you think you are busy, sometimes you think you're lazy, sometimes you think you're distracted, sometimes you think you are trying to be perfect, but real reason could be, I've got rejected so many times and I don't want to get rejected again because it hurts. Right now, I was having a chat with one of my clients not too far away, maybe a couple of days back, and he was telling me how certain rejections that happened when he was young, right, has really taken a toll on him. Now, when we talk about rejections, just imagine the type of rejections that we have as children, right? From our friends. Sometimes we try to fit into a group of friends and we are rejected from them. Or sometimes you like a girl or a boy, a person, that you have a crush on, right? And maybe you make an attempt, you ask them out and you get rejected. Sometimes in the marriage, you can get rejected. Quite painful, right? So when these rejections happens, or sometimes you get bullied because you are outcasted from a network of people, maybe in your school, maybe in classes, right? When you get rejected, that pain of rejections gets, carved in stone so much. Later on, so many years after, you might not even remember. You are a salesperson, but you struggle to pick up the phone and make those calls. Why? Because your subconscious is saying, fear of rejection or pain of rejection is much bigger than pain of failure. So I'd rather make you fail in love, because your subconscious is doing all these things because it loves you, right? I'd rather make you fail because I wanted to protect you from rejections. How is that? Just imagine, maybe you've been harassed, or someone has made a sexual advancement at you, or cat called you or something like that, where it has become such an irritant, right? Which happened so many years back. But holding that feeling, right, which has become a negative belief in your head, right, will prevent you from maybe becoming an entrepreneur. Because if I become an entrepreneur, I need to, this is actually something that happened with one of my female clients, right? Becoming an entrepreneur would mean I have to deal with a lot of men who's in the business world, and I don't want to become an entrepreneur. Why? Because my past tells that it can be quite harassing if I try to do these things with these people, right? So each one of us have beliefs that we have to overcome to avoid or to get through these kind of thoughts that prevents us from taking decisions or makes us procrastinators. The second thing is, so before going to the second thing, I just wanted to show this image. This is an actual image of burning your limiting beliefs, which I call in codes, right? Negative codes, right? Me as a coach, when I work with clients, I help them to burn their codes, right? And to reprogram their subconscious with powerful, empowering codes that really makes them motivated, driven, so they can do things, right? So understanding what has created these negative beliefs and then filtering them out to find the most impacting beliefs, then destroying them, reprogramming them, and creating them into empowering codes, right, to operate with, and nurturing them over a period of time and strengthening them can really make a huge impact in people, right? And as a coach, this is something that I see, because treating symptoms, which is for procrastination and indecisiveness, we can do like forever, but you have to keep on doing it. But when you go into the root cause, one of which is, your belief system, and recode you, that has lasting results. And that's one of the reasons why people work with coaches. Now, in my case, I have this amazing program called the Success Blueprint, which I mentioned at the beginning, which the sole purpose is to help you to rediscover yourself, recode yourself, and to bring out your true potential, right? And it not only recode yourself, but it also helps you to make better decisions, right? To kick indecisiveness out of the door, right? And being a good decision maker can create an amazing impact. Let me ask you this. Would you agree right? I want you guys to go to the chat box and give me an answer for this. Would you agree that we are a collection of all the decisions that we have made in the past? So let me say, we are a collection of all the results from all the decisions we have made in the past, right? Or we are the decisions that we have made in the past. If you think that is true, please go into the chat box and say yes, right? So we can see most of you, right, would agree that we are a collection of all the results of all the decisions that we have made in the past. Now, if I give you a time machine, right? I'm a guy who loves, all the comic movies, sci-fi movies. So time travel is one of my favorite topics, right? Now, if I give you a time machine and I get you to go back in time, maybe 10 years back, 20 years back, and take a decision that you have made, change it, and come back to the present moment, what do you think would have happened, right? Change in that one simple decision will have a butterfly effect, right? Based on the chaos theory, if you have heard, right? And your current reality would be completely different, unimaginably different, because the decisions that you take and the consequences have a domino effect, right? This wouldn't have happened if this didn't have happened, and that wouldn't have happened if another thing didn't have happened. So likewise, changing one decision in your history can change the course of the future leading up to now completely. Now, if decisions were that important, let me ask you this. Did your school system taught you or teach you how to take decisions? Mine absolutely did. Did your parents teach you how to take decisions? They would have definitely told you take good decisions, be responsible, take better decisions. But have they ever taught you how to take decisions, right? Go into the chat box once again. Tell me, have your teachers, parents ever taught you a structure on which how to take decisions, right? Right, parents here, school never, no, no, no. Right? Usually I get a ton of no's here, right? Because if we had a structured formula to take decisions, just imagine how good life would be. So now taking decisions doesn't just help you, just having a structure doesn't help you if you don't realize what your baselines are. So just like your coding, right? Your belief system, the second element which is in the root cause is understanding your baselines. Now you might be wondering, what are these baselines, right? Now in coaching, as a coach, I help people to understand what are their top 6 baselines, narrowing it down from about 400 baselines to figure out what are the top 6 baselines. Baselines are your foundational pillars on which your life is entirely running. That makes you happy, that makes you sad, right? So all your emotions, like why you do what you do, or why you feel the way you feel, is based on your baselines, right? When you find out your baselines, you realize how important they are for the decisions that you're making. And when you discover your baselines, how good you can take decisions, right? Now let me check. So I had a coaching session with one of my clients today on baselines, just today, right? He has just discovered his baselines just now, right? So not like a person who has understood this concept a lot, right? Rasindu, I hope you don't mind me putting you on the spot, but can I have you just share your experience in discovering your baselines, and what kind of an impact do you think it has? I know you.
Yeah, Lian, hi. Can you hear me?
Hi, Rasindu. Hi. Yes, can hear you.
Hi. Yes, and hi, everyone. So, like Lian said, we delved into the baselines today. And so basically, I mean, my understanding is everything that we do is based off of who we are fundamentally. And like Lian said, our past experiences, our childhood, everything shapes us to be who we are. So, understanding what really drives you is very important in everything you do, because uh, it can really help you see any kind of feeling, emotion, any kind of circumstance in a different light. And most importantly, it gives you the tools you need to, focus on. It gives you a focus so that which area to target and what actions you can take, and how those your baselines and fundamentals, a sense of self, will be affected by them. So understanding those key components of who you really are will help you apply that to everything you do in life. So yeah, I think they are the most important part of doing anything in life. And yeah, I look forward to just delving much deeper into applying those baselines that I've learned.
And guys, Rasindu is the person that I was never prepared for this. I'm sorry for putting you on the spot, but I thought, since we had this session in the morning, it would be good for you to talk, right? And so Rasindu realized or figured out or discovered what his top 6 baselines today. Now he's in the process of understanding how to take better decisions, right? To satisfy those baselines, because when you take decisions that satisfies your baselines, which are your foundational pillars, it works out so fine for you that you are so satisfied and happy, right? And I always say this: the ultimate purpose of this human experience is to discover your happiness. And what better way to discover your happiness than finding what happiness is based on, right? So discovering your baselines and getting a formula on which you can take decisions is going to be life changing, right? So thank you very much, Rasidhu, once again for putting yourself out there. And so these are 2 elements which is at the root cause level that I use when it comes to helping people to become less or beat indecisiveness and to overcome procrastination, right? So we have learned quite a bit of different stuff today, right? Starting from why you procrastinate, psychology of procrastination, and some of the tips and tricks that we can use, the difference between treating the symptoms to treating the root cause, and what exactly are some of the underlying reasons that could be the root causes of you procrastinating and baselines. Now tell me this, would you really feel that if you can find a solution to overcome procrastination and indecisiveness, that your life would change, right? If the answer is yes, please go to the chat box and let me know. I want to see how many of you would feel like, overcoming procrastination and indecisiveness can be life-changing for you. And remember, every time you take the right decisions, right, even in a business environment, you would be earning more money, right? Even if you can decide which job to take, right? You can even look at it from a financial perspective, right? Without procrastinating, if you can take action, you can get more opportunities. You can convert it into financial perspective, right? So if you are actually to put a number, right, in dollars, rupees, whatever your currency is, how much would that, gain in that ability for becoming a person who overcomes procrastination and takes better decisions will be, right? I once did this exercise and I put a number. I want you to think about a number, right? I don't want you to put it in the chat box, but think about a number, right? If you overcome your procrastination, right? And if you become such a good decision maker and start making great decisions in your life, right? With lasting impact in your business, in your relationship, in your career, in your money, your savings, your investments, your health, how much would it convert to in terms of rupees, cents, dollars, rupiah, whatever the currency that you're using, right? Think of the number. And it becomes such an important task or important topic to, or a gift to give yourself the ability to take better decisions and to overcome procrastination. So here's my question. Are you ready to change your life, right? I know I'm getting you to type on the chat box quite a bit. It actually gives you good finger exercises because we work out, we never exercise our fingers. So go into the chat box and let me know, are you ready to change your life? Because I'm going to tell you a story of how I changed my life, how all this started, and a conjunction in this story which really helped, right? Super. But before that, let me share this quote, which I really love, right? And I think it's absolutely true. Growth happens outside your comfort zone. So if you are looking at growth in terms of overcoming procrastination and indecisiveness, right, you need to realize that your growth happens outside your comfort zone. You can't be in your comfort zone feeling comfortable and grow or to overcome procrastination. What did I have to do? I had to walk on fire, right? Now, some of you might be having a jaw-dropping moment. Some of you might be thinking whether I'm crazy, right? Some of you might be thinking, why do you have to walk on fire to become a better decision maker, right? So in 2019 September, I got the privilege of going to Singapore for Tony Robbins Unleash the Power Within. Amazing 4-day life transforming event. You can't call it a training. You can't, it's out of this world. It was like a music concert, right? 25,000 people filled in the Singapore Expo halls. It was crazy. Every day we would start at about 7-8 o'clock in the morning and run till about 9 o'clock in the night or 10 o'clock in the night. So it was more than 12 hours a day. On the first day, we went up to 2 o'clock in the morning, right? So at 2 a.m., the session finished with 25,000 people or 15,000 people, whatever the number, right? Getting into 25 lines and walking on fire. Why were we walking on fire? Because the first day was about overcoming your fears, right? Overcoming what you think is impossible. And Tony taught us how to walk on fire, the art, the strategy, the science, the belief system, the mindset that you require. Now, this is something that I never thought I could do. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, I walked on fire, right? Me walking on fire gave me a good indication to my subconscious saying there's nothing impossible. If you set your mind to it, you can do it. But I would have never gone to this program if I was so indecisive about another decision that I took, right? When this opportunity was presented to me, when I knew Tony Robbins was coming to Singapore, I wanted to go. I didn't have money, right? I didn't have money and I suffered because there was something that I really wanted to do. And in Sri Lankan rupees, it was costing me about 300,000 Sri Lankan rupees, and I didn't have the money to do that. But instead of asking myself, can I afford it? I knew I need to push myself out of the comfort zone. I knew I have to take action. So guess what I did? I started thinking, how can I find this money? Instead of telling myself, asking myself, can I afford it? I changed the question. I said, how can I afford it? Just by adding that one word made an amazing difference. I started becoming more creative and thinking out of the box. And I told myself, you know what? I've not used credit cards for the last so many years. I'm going to go to the bank and apply for a credit card, right? I had to apply for a credit card, wait for 2 weeks till I get it. By that time, the price also had increased, but I could come and pay. Now, when I paid from that credit card, I started tearing. I literally started crying, not happy tears, but tears of anxiety because I was scared. Let me be very honest with you. I was scared. Scared why? Because I knew I couldn't afford this money. Yes, I'm paying because I have a credit card. That's not my money. But I did not know how to pay it back because my expenses were already more than my income, right? I was financially struggling. And I was so scared, even if I got an installment payment, how can I make an installment because I'm already well above my income? That feeling I will never forget, because that has been the same way that I've been investing in myself, not only in Tony Robbins, even in Arfin Khan programs, even in other programs that I've invested, because I realized if I try to stick within what I am right now, let's say, even when it comes to financially, my capability, I would never grow beyond that limit. So I started stretching myself out, right? And that has worked for me every time because I started realizing the power of this phrase, nothing changes if nothing changes, right? Yes, you heard it right. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you don't change the way that you've been living the last 20, 30, 40 years, taking decisions, nothing would change for the future as well. So if you want to change how your life is going, do a drastic change. And that will happen only by taking action, right? Speaking of which, I told you I'm going to make an offer for a flagship program that I have, right? But before making the offer, and I told you, the offer is not for everyone, but this part is for everyone. Just listen and see how this particular program called Success Blueprint is created to give you the necessary mindset, tools, strategies, formulas, and executions through which you can actually change your life, change the way you think, discover yourself, take better decisions, right? Find out how to become successful. And most importantly, like I said, to get into a good and a very good state. Because when you get into a good and a very good state, and if you have a formula that will get there, if you have a blueprint that will help you to get there, you can be more resourceful, creative, motivated, inspired, right? Think out of the box, driven, and get yourself connected to your higher self and put yourself in the state where everything is a possibility. Nothing is impossible. Procrastination and indecisiveness runs out of the window when you are in that mode. So ladies and gentlemen, this is my Success Blueprint program. It's a 12-week journey that I've created when you're doing on a one-to-one basis, right? It's a 12-week journey where I take you through 6 weeks of ultimate self-discovery, where you learn about who you are, the balance of your life. You discover your baselines like I did with Rasidhu today. You discover your limiting beliefs and the coding that has been created over the last 20, 30, 40 years that is holding you back. We work together to reprogram that inner DNA codes and set in place some empowering, life-changing belief systems, right? Then I help you to discover your strengths, your talents, your gifts, the God-given gifts, and to discover your life's purpose and passion, right? And I help you to find a way of life where you can control your thoughts with the path of least resistance, with no resistance, where you learn to live in gratitude and abundance and start attracting and manifesting all those beautiful things that you've wanted in your life. And we end that 6 weeks ultimate self-discovery by healing your inner childhood wounds, which is a beautiful process where you go through a closed-eye guided meditation. So first 6 weeks is about discovering your true self and rediscovering yourself. And the next 6 weeks, I give you 5 formulas, which is decision-making formula, success formula, make more time formula, happiness formula, and champion formula. These 5 formulas are designed to help you to discover your true happiness and how you can be successful in anything that you do in your life, right? So the decision-making formula, like we discussed, helps you to start making, it's a secret formula to make right decisions every time. Your success formula is a personalized secret formula that guarantees you success every single time, right? So just imagine you discover and you create, I don't give you a formula, you create a formula that works for you, that guarantees success by looking at your life and how you have done things, right? And that guarantees you success in everything you do. Make more time formula is where you put an end to not having enough time to create the best life you want, so you can do the things that you love with the people that you love. Happiness formula is a formula that you create using different elements that helps you to discover your true happiness. And that really helps you to get into a better state, right? Like we discussed. And the last 2 weeks, we take you through the champion formula where you create outcomes for your 1 year, 3 year, 5 years to achieve, right? And prioritize them. And then apply this formula, which I call the champion formula, where you create a path, knowing exactly what you have to do, when you have to do to get those outcomes of your dreams and goals. And with that, I help you to achieve your dreams and goals. Now, this is the success journey of Success Blueprint. And why I showed you this was, when you go through this 12-week journey on a one-to-one basis, so I have another group program which goes through the same program in 8 weeks, right? When you go through all these modalities, it changes you as a person because you rediscover yourself, you rediscover your potential, you discover all those areas where you were stuck, where you can unstuck yourself, take out your true potential and change your life forever, right? Now, I want to share the story of one of my clients called James from UK, who was supposed to be here, but he said he's out with his wife and children because one of his key aspects when we started working was to build a work-life balance. And I was so happy to hear that he's taking a nice trip, a long-awaited trip over the weekend with his wife and his children, because that was one of the priorities, right? Now, this gentleman is an owner of a big company, right? And that has put a lot of pressure on him, right? And, he was more in the business than on the business. But working with him over the last 10, 11 weeks, I would say, he says the Success Blueprint program helped me to discover the purpose and the passion of my life, which I was never aware of with such clarity. Now, how many of you are there who does not know your purpose and passion, right? Discovering your purpose and passion would give you a sense of having that magnetic north in life where you know exactly what you have to do, right? It defines your purpose on earth, right? And he also says another toolkit that I got from this program was the decision-making formula, which gives me the confidence in making a right decision every time. And it has been very useful in both work and personal life, right? So having your own decision-making formula allows you to make correct decisions. One decision could be $1 million decision in a business world, right? So just imagine the power of having this decision-making formula. He also says with the time formula, I have become more organized and efficient, being able to do the things that I love, which I thought I do not have time for. So this was a gentleman who said, I love doing these things, but I don't have time for any of those things because my life is work. But now he's creating that balance, right? This helped me to improve my relationship with my wife and kids, which is priceless, right? And how many of us are getting trapped in the 9-to-5 jobs or our businesses at the cost of these relationships? Is it really worth it, right? But with Success Blueprint, you can redefine your work-life balance. So he says, I have overall created a better work-life balance and have been achieving what I thought was impossible once in my life. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is the power of following a structured program. Now, I would say structured program. Why? Because it's very well defined, a 12-week journey, or if you do in a group setting, a shorter term, where it's designed to give you certain results, right? Now, I'm not going to be talking about these results. I want you to hear it from someone who has gone through it, right? I have Lakshika with us. Lakshika, if you're there, would you be able to unmute yourself and speak up? Let me see whether I can.
Hi, Leon, and hi, everyone.
Hi, Lakshika. So Lakshika is a person who has gone through this program, right? We had a great session, I think, yesterday. And I was telling, hey, Lakshika, you know what? I'm having this program. Why don't you come up and talk a little bit about this program and tell how it has impacted you, how it has created this amazing, results for you. So Lakshika, in the essence of time, maybe keep it to about 1 to 2 minutes. Tell me a few of the biggest achievements for you in this program and how it has changed your life.
So if I would start with like this, at the beginning of this year, so I was like, I didn't have any career progression for about 10 years. And my life was like stuck and stagnated in one place. I did not know what to do and where to go, where to ask help from. But luckily I got to know about this program and got registered. And while I was following it, I actually was able to identify the negative thoughts and to change them into some positive quotes, and also to identify what are the things that has blocked my way and how to overcome them. And one thing that helped me really was the decision making formula, how to make decisions, and also the time formula, because so there were so many things that I have been procrastinating, thinking that I don't have time, and the things that I love to do, and how to enjoy my life, how to allocate time to enjoy my life. So those things I was able to overcome by following this program. And also as a result, I received a long-awaited career progression in my career life. And also I learned how to have a successful and a happy life, not just focusing on the career life, but also in the personal life. So how to be happy, how to be gratitude towards the things that I have, and also how to make full use of time. And as he said earlier, like there are things that because of our mental state, we also not take the action. Therefore, we get stuck in between in certain levels. But once you know how to overcome your mental state, you know how to get things work for you. So I'm so happy about choosing this program, and I highly recommend Lian as a great coach because he knows how to take you out of this uh, stuckness and give you a breakthrough.
Thank you, Lakshika, for sharing this. And I can remember Lakshika and I actually used the module of decision-making formula to resolve a burning decision that she had to face. I don't want you to share the personal details, but just quickly, maybe in 30 seconds, just share the journey that you took and how easy it was for you to find a solution for this decision that you couldn't find an answer for the longest time to help everyone else.
Yeah, as I said, like I was stagnated in this my existing career or the workplace, so I did not know what to do. And the decision making formula that it helps you to evaluate certain options. So at that point, like I was able to identify the options available to me and evaluate them and to see what makes me happy, because I have identified at that point I have already identified the baselines. So what makes me happy, and so I knew what I have to do in order to make the career progression, not just now but in future of my career life, how to achieve it and to make a better decision at the right point at the right time.
Lakshika, and everyone, please give a round of applause to Lakshika. So why I wanted her to share this was for you to understand that when you have a process like this, right? I really love this saying, right? Alone you can go faster, but together you can go further, right? So basically, when you try to, I've tried to do it on my own, right? Where I could have done certain things much more in a different pace, but I realized when I started working with a coach, right, I achieved things that I could not achieve for the longest time, right? Stuff that I felt like impossible, right? So that was the power, right? So when you start working with a coach, let's say even if you're in a mastermind, like the group coaching program where you have other people that you can work with, it really creates a complete different atmosphere for you, right? Now we are coming close to a decision making time, right? Now I want you, as a coach, I want to help you make a better decision, because when it comes to making decisions like we discussed in this entire program, we tend to look at the wrong approach or the wrong reason or the wrong way to make a decision. Now, ideally, if I talk about a program like this, like Success Blueprint, and make you an offer, sometimes you would be like, you know what, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, right? We give a lot of reasons like that, but without actually asking ourselves, do we really need the program first, right? So let me work with you here to ask 4 questions, right? And I want you to answer these questions as I ask you, right? Think first. Whether you are planning to do this program or not does not matter, right? Think first. Does Success Blueprint seems like a program that can change my life, right? You heard it from one person. You saw a few testimonials. You saw the structure. You know that it is coming from knowledge from great coaches like Tony Robbins and Arfin Khan, which have compiled together, right? Knowledge that has been staying there for the longest time, helping people. Do you feel like Success Blueprint is the kind of program that can really change your life? Ask yourself. If that's a yes, let's ask ourselves the second question. Is it now or never? Are you a person who's window shopping, or are you like, you know what, it's now or never? You know, I really need to take action. I've suffered enough. I really want to take my life to the next level. I want to have a better relationship. I want to excel in my career. I want my business to thrive. I want to make millions, right? I can't be looking at price tags every time I'm going out shopping. I want to take my family to the best restaurants, right? I want to live the life that I want. I want true happiness. So do you feel like it's now or never? Suffering enough is enough. Do you feel like that? Right? If you feel like that, the answer is still a yes. The third question that you should actually ask is, does Lian seem like a person who can bring that change to me? Some of you know me for some time. Some of you have gone through my videos on YouTube and other mediums. Some of you have had a discovery call with me. Some of you have come for other programs. So whatever the exposure that you have with me, seeing my content, hearing from me, do I seem like a person who can bring this change to me? Now, if the answer is yes for all these three questions, ask this fourth question. If time and money was not a problem, would I enroll in Success Blueprint? Right? And if you still get a yes, and if you are really excited about it, let me tell you one thing. When you say time and money is a problem, whether that's actually a problem, right? So let me bring up another person who has gone through this process, right? Who understood the value of this program, who will help you to understand how she thought about these four questions. Dinili, if you are in the audience, can I bring you up?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Dinili.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear loud and clear. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Dinli. She went through the Success Blueprint Express program, which is the group program, right? And let's hear what she has to say in terms of how she would go through these four questions.
Actually, I have participated in many international programs, but the Success Blueprint was truly a life-changing experience for me. The discoveries, the insights about myself, about relationships, career,
Dinili, we lost you. Dinili, are you still here with us? We kind of lost you there.
Yes. Sorry,
Yeah.
I think something went wrong. So as I said, the discoveries and the insights that I got about myself, relationships, my career were actually mind-blowing. And Leon always says, if we are to arrive at the right solutions, we have to ask the right questions. And that is exactly what the Success Blueprint program does. It really makes you ask yourself some amazing questions. As to how this program changed my life, I came into the program calling and labeling myself as indecisive. Because as Leon said, no one really teaches you how to make good decisions, but everybody expects you to make good decisions. It gave me the insight that I actually wasn't an indecisive person, but I was just in an average or below average state for many years, and that it was exactly a personality trait as such. And also discovering the baselines and identifying the foundations of my identity. It really made decision making much easier because I knew what is right for me. And also the formula that this program gives actually helps you run your decisions through a very structured process as well. I'm also a person who felt I never had enough time to complete my to-do list. And the formula that this program gives actually has helped me the first time in my life to actually complete my to-do list, which I thought was never possible. And I'm in the midst of a career transition. I was in banking and retail, and now I'm into coaching and counseling. And I was really stuck trying to launch myself as a counselor and a coach. And when we were doing the section on passion and purpose, I really had this insight that even as a child, I loved teaching. And I realized I didn't want to do one-to-one coaching or counseling, but I actually want to train and teach coaches and counselors. And now I actually look at the career transition in a different perspective. Another amazing thing that I experienced is when we address our limiting beliefs. I had many limiting beliefs about love and relationships. And I have been divorced for 5 years now, but I have been very, very resistant to get into a relationship. And after doing this program and actually addressing my limiting beliefs on love, I can very happily say that I have got into a relationship after 5 years, and I'm really in a very happy place. I also had an amazing experience with the inner child healing exercise that this program does. I experienced a very traumatic thing when I was 16 years old, and it helped me look at my 16-year-old self with so much of compassion, made me proud of that 16-year-old, and actually I made it my compelling reason in life that I owe it to that 16-year-old Dinili, not to just survive, but to also thrive in life. And just one last thing, in the champion formula, we actually sat down and made a 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year plan. And actually, that has really made me so focused as to how to get about my goals and to achieve my dreams. Leon actually asked us this question, now or never. When I joined one of Leon's workshops, and I also had to ask my question, is it now or never? I was in a difficult place financially, and this was a big investment, a big financial stretch for me. But I felt like I was trying to launch into my new career, and I was stuck for so many years. And I felt like enough is enough. I need to take back my power and turn around things for myself. And also, I didn't want to look back in the future thinking, having regrets. I didn't really make this career transition happen. So I somehow did make the initial deposit. And I still remember when I was very hesitant whether I could find the rest of the money. Something that Leon told me was that take a leap of faith and the universe will conspire to help you find the balance money. And true to his words, actually, within the next couple of weeks, I was able to find the balance money. And having completed this program, I can now tell you guys that it was the best investment I ever made in my life, and life will never be the same for me because I have achieved so much of focus, direction in many areas of my life. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Dinley, for sharing that. Really appreciate it because that gives everyone a real insight as to what this program is, right? And like she said, sometimes we tell ourselves, different stories. And I really like this quote because it says, what stands between you and your success is the, pardon my French, bullshit stories that you tell yourself, right? What stands between you and your success is the bullshit stories that you tell yourself. What are these BS stories? Stories like, I don't have time, I don't have money. Just imagine if one of your loved ones met with an accident today, right? God forbid, hope that won't happen. But if you had to raise even a large amount of money overnight, right? What wouldn't you do to get that done, right? So if changing your life is so important, right, you would push yourself there. But as a coach, it breaks my heart to see a lot of people who really want that change, who believe that they want that change, just because they're stuck in an average state, don't take action, right? But for those people who are ready to take action, what I tell is a better question to ask yourself than can I afford it is which option can I afford, or how can I afford it, right? Because if you say, can I afford it? It's a 50-50 yes or no. Maybe if it's a no, your subconscious is going to prepare you with a lot of things to think, right? But if you ask which option, that means you are saying there could be an option that is workable. Or if you say, how can I find the money? How can I afford that program? It's going to give you a different set of answers. So your quality of your life completely depends on the quality of questions that you ask yourself, right? So now there are two options. Talking about options, Success Blueprint comes as a one-on-one coaching program, which is 2 hours into 12 weeks, very personalized, right? One-on-one with me. Success Blueprint Express, I call it SBX for short, is an 8-week journey that you do as a group. So every week you meet for 4 hours and you do it for 8 weeks, right? And you do it with a crowd, and that could be also powerful because you have the effect of a mastermind working with a bunch of like-minded people. Now, I will also show you Success Blueprint Express has a light version also, right? I will talk about it less later, but it's the same program. So when you invest in Success Blueprint, what do you get, right? You get a host of things, right? But the most important thing is this 12-week journey that will give you your Success Blueprint, which is the image on the far right-hand corner, right? Which will completely change you and give you this map that you can guide your life on. All the findings, these amazing golden nuggets that you discover in the program, you write it on that and you paste it on your wall, and that can be like your magnetic north, right? So you get this 12-week journey, all the topics that I showed you, right? So depending on the option that you select, it's either 2 weeks per week or 4 weeks per week, right? In addition to that, you get access to my mastermind group, which is a monthly Q&A group, which helps you to come up with a lot of realizations, share what you learned and learn from each other. You get access to my private Facebook group in which I do certain training programs and VIP content. You get, if you're a one-on-one client, you get accountability to achieve goals, right? In addition to the program. And once again, if you're a one-on-one client, even if you have an emotional downturn in your life, something happens, you go through a breakup, lose a job, a loved one died, and your state drops. As your coach, you can pick up the call and say, Coach, I need to talk to you, right? And we will arrange a session and would help you. And that can be really priceless. And at the end of the program, what you get is your own customized blueprint, right? Now, talking about this Success Blueprint Express program, right? It's going to happen on these particular days, right? Saturdays, right? 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Sri Lankan time, right? Sri Lankan time. It's going to happen on Zoom plus physical, which is a hybrid model, right? Where we would meet physically for those who can meet physically, but there'll be, we would use technology to the maximum possibility to connect everyone from all around the world to connect with us and do this program, right? So it'll happen as a group. Like I said, it happens as the main Success Blueprint Express program and the Light program as well. Light program is actually only a selected module, which is the ultimate self-discovery, which would be covered in the first 4 weeks. So both Express clients and the Light clients would start together, but the Express clients would fall out after the ultimate self-discovery if they do not choose to subscribe to the other models. The other participants will continue on the last 4 days. So these are the days, these are the times. If you want, I would recommend you to take a photo.
Leon?
Yes, Sarah.
Can I interrupt you? The dates, is it Saturday or is it Friday? Because the dates you have given is Friday.
Okay, if that's the case, then there could be a mistake in the representation.
On the
The
mail.
days should be the Saturdays. Yeah, so it needs to be 7th, 14th, 21st, 28th, and then 4th, 11th, 18th, and 25th. Sorry about that, guys. So it's the Saturday after, right? Saturday is the selected day, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Whoever who made these slides would have definitely got Saturdays and Fridays mixed up. Thank you very much, Sarah, for pointing that out, right? So take a photo, but just remember it's not on the Friday, it's on the Sunday. Sorry about that. Right? Mistakes do happen. And like I told you, version 1 is always better than version 1 and nothing has to be perfect, right? So I'm totally cool with that. But thank you very much, Sarah, for sharing that. So once again, what do you get? It's this 12 weeks journey in 8 weeks if you come for the group program, because we cover a 4-hour slot every week, right? So those who come for the Success Blueprint Lite, we are covering the first 6 weeks worth of content, which is the ultimate self-discovery, which is 50% of this program. Those who come for Express in total will get the entire thing in those 8 days. Let's talk about the value of this program, right? This program is valued at $6,350. Now, Sri Lankan currency has gone for a 6 in the last couple of weeks, which makes this program, if you're a Sri Lankan consumer, 2 million rupees in terms of the value. If you are from abroad, you can calculate in your own currency and see how valuable this program is, right? The 12 weeks coaching, the personality test, access to the coach, access to the workshops, because when you come on board for, let's say, the one-on-one program, right? You spend 3 months with me, even the paid workshops that I do, other than Success Blueprint and whatever the flagship programs, you get free access to it, right? So there's a value to that. The mastermind discussions, everything works out to about $6,350. But I don't charge that. I only charge $2,000. This used to be $3,000, right? But I didn't have the heart to put $3,000 because LKR value, because Sri Lankan currency change, is still the same for $2,000. So I'm giving that benefit to all my clients, right? $2,000 in LKR is 640,000. In INR, it's 154,000. This is the one-on-one coaching, right? But if you choose to go for the group program, right? Small mistake, this should be 8 weeks group program, not 4 weeks. It's going to be $550, right? Which is an equivalent of 185,000 Sri Lankan rupees or 42,000 INR. But here's the thing. Now, you guys have stayed with me for 2 hours, right? In this session, because you are action takers, because you have eagerness to change your life. And as a coach, the least I can do is give you something in return, right? So because you are enthusiastic, I'm going to give you a very special price because you're participating today. I'm going to give you a flat 50% off on the one-on-one coaching, which makes it 320,000 LKR, $950, which is an amazing price, right? From original $3,000 to $2,000 to $950 is an amazing price. Or 72,500 INR, one-to-one coaching. If you're looking at the Express program, which is the 8-week group coaching program, I reiterate, it says 4 weeks, but it's 8-week group coaching program. It's 130,000, which is a 30% off. So in dollars, it's 386 US dollars, so 29,500 Indian rupees. But here's the thing. I want to make it sweeter. My 2 fellow coaches have been, in my ear saying, you know what, we can't stop here. We need to go give something even better for real action takers. So I finally agreed with these 2 beautiful ladies. And I said, you know what, let's do this. For the next 15 minutes, right? Within the next 15 minutes, if you are going to book your seat, you're going to get a further discount. This option you would not get again, but only for the next 15 minutes, right? So 290,000 for the one-on-one program. Plus, I'm giving you a bonus of weekly follow-ups with an accountability coach for 6 months. Once you finish the Success Blueprint program in 3 months, you get an accountability coach following up with you for 6 months to make sure that you achieve the goals that you have set, that you are doing what you are supposed to do, right? And if you're doing the Express program, it's 95,000 rupees. It's less than 100,000 bucks, right? Calculate in your own currencies. It's a very, very, very good price for the value that you get. Plus, you get 3 months follow-up from your accountability coach, which is an added value of about 120,000, right? So you're getting a lot of money. Now, I'm going to tell you one more thing. I understand the situation of the country, right? Now, but this is the time where you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and take that decision. So ladies and gentlemen, I invite you to take 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and take a decision, because one decision can change your life. one decision changed my life forever. And it can be your story as well. Dilli said one decision changed her life. Lakshika said one decision changed her life. All those people that I showed you, one decision of signing up for this program changed their life. But here's the thing, I'm not going to stop there because I understand the country situation, especially for Sri Lankans, is very tough. I'm going to give this benefit to everyone else. If for someone, even 95,000 Sri Lankan rupees is a stretch, right? You can do the light version, which is the ultimate self-discovery only, right? The first 6 weeks only for 60,000 Sri Lankan rupees. Right, for 60,000 Sri Lankan rupees. Please, if you're from another country, quickly go into Google, LKR to USD, LKR to INR, you can calculate this amount, right? And within that 6 weeks, you can decide whether you are going to go for the other modules, which is decision-making module, success formula, happiness formula, make more time formula, and champion formula, and subscribe before those 6 weeks, before the 4 weeks ends, right? So 4 hours into 8 weeks once again here for Success Blueprint Express. And for the light, it's 4 hours into 4 weeks. Both the batches starts together. The light participants fall out after the first 4 weeks, unless you, upgrade yourself. How to upgrade yourself? You by paying a 45,000 rupees extra. So you are essentially paying about 15,000 rupees more, right? Oshadi right now is putting the amount in USD for those who are looking at it from other currencies. So you can still start by paying a small amount if 95,000 is a stretch, and pay the balance 45,000 by the end of that program and upgrade yourself to Express, right? So you know the pricing, right? If you are taking action right now, 290,000 for one-on-one coaching, 95,000 for Express. But if that is a stretch, you can start with light, which is only 60,000. Now, here's the question I want to ask you, right? Like I told you, I want everyone to participate in this poll, right? I'm gonna launch a poll. Now, this is gonna ask you a question, right? Which option would you like the most? Don't think about money, don't think about time, don't think about all those reasons, right? And just because you click on this, I'm not going to hold you accountable. If you had a choice, which one would you select? Is it the Success Blueprint one-on-one coaching? Is it the group coaching? Is it the group coaching light version? Or do you feel like you need some other different general coaching for you? Or are you like, I'm not ready to change my life right now, please, this is not for me? What do you want to do, right? Which option are you willing to take? Because like I told you, sometimes it's better to ask yourself, which option is the right option for me? Let's give it a few more seconds. Guys, please go to the chat poll and answer, right? We have people answering. Still one-on-one coaching is leading. Group coaching is just also very close, right? So 10, 9, 8. Guys, do the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and take a decision. Don't be indecisive, right? 8, 7, 6, 5. Put what we learned into practice. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? 4, 3, 2, 1. Right? I'm going to take off the poll, ending the poll right now. Right. So 53% of you have said one-on-one coaching. 47% of you have said group coaching, none for light, right? So you guys are serious takers, I can see. If you are an action taker, if you want this special price, you can either do the full payment, no problem, right? But if you want to, reserve your seat, one of my members have put in the link in the chat box. Click on that link. It'll take you to a registration form, right? Register yourself. And once you submit, select which program that you want to apply for. Once you submit, it'll redirect you to this website called myfees.lk. Myfees.lk is the most reputed platform in Sri Lanka for education platforms to receive funding, right? All huge universities like ACBT, ICBT, and all the international universities are also there. Lian K coaching also have been recognized to be a part of them. So you can make the payment through them, right? You can once the registration form redirects you to myfees.lk, you can register on that. You can make the payment on that. But if you're a person who does not have online payment option, take a quick photo of the bank transfer details, right? This is the company account. IGC Solution is the corporate name of the company. Commercial Bank, Reed Avenue branch, and that's the account number. So quickly take a photo of that. You only need to pay 15,000 to book your seat. But if you have the funding, make the full payment, not because I need the money, but when you put your money down, you are stopping your subconscious negotiating with you, right? You're stopping your subconscious bringing out reasons saying whatever, right? So if you really need to change your life, make a decision, do it now, and register on liank.com/SB, which will redirect you to a page where you can make a payment. Talking about payment, if you think you cannot afford to pay in one go, myfees.lk has installment plans for almost all the bank cards. If you're paying by credit card, right, you can click on those relevant, you can make the payment first, then click on those bank icons to find out what options are there. Some banks are offering 0% installment for 3 months, 6 months, so on and so forth. Some are charging a very nominal fee, so you can still pay that in a way that fits your budget as well, right? So through myfees.lk, you can go into an installment plan. You can call your bank and ask. Myfees.lk is a reputed payment acceptor who's tied up with almost all of these banks, right? So when you go into the MyFees platform, you will come into a screen. I've put 2 screenshots side by side, right? You first select here the institute, which is Lian K Coaching. You put your first name and the last name. Under class and course, you can say Success Blueprint 101 or Success Blueprint Express or Success Blueprint Lite. You put your email address, you put your phone number. Then they ask the purpose of the payment. You can say advance payment or program fee, right? Then it asks for a student number. If you're a Sri Lankan customer, put your national identity card number, right? And if you're a foreign customer, use an identification number like a passport number or social security number, which we can track you if we can't track you by the name for some reason, right? Since it's a mandatory field, you need to put a number. Invoice number is not needed. We have not issued you an invoice. The amount in LKR, right? In LKR. So as you can see, this says 320. We have knocked off some more, right? If you're doing it right now, 290,000 would be for the one-on-one program, 95,000 would be for the Success Blueprint Express program, 60,000 would be for the Lite program, or if you're just paying an advance and later deciding which program even, 15,000 is all you need to book a seat, right? For you to be entitled for that special price. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know there are people from all around the world. The amount needs to be entered in LKR. So enter the LKR amount, which is, if you're making advance right now, 15,000. If it's for Lite, it's 60,000. If it's for Express, it's 95,000. Or if it's one-on-one, it's 290,000 if you're doing it right now, not 320, right? With that, so now is the time to take action. Like I said, discover your success blueprint, go to this particular site, do it while we are on the call. Don't procrastinate. You know what happens when you procrastinate. Why? That's exactly why you are here. Unfortunately, due to a technical program, we are not in a position to open a breakout room. I wanted to take all the questions in a breakout room, but as we have come to the end of this program, if there is anyone who would like to get to know more details, you have 2 options. If you want to talk privately, right, I'm going to launch a poll. If you require a call back, please say yes. So one of us would call you, help you get more information. But if you, let's say, want to take action right now, something is not clear, you want to ask something about the program, please talk right now. Let's have a discussion. Whatever the clarifications you require, I have two great coaches with me also who are ready to help you with information. Now would be the time. Any questions, any clarifications? So I think, guys, you have about...
Leon, we have Lillian raising her hand.
Okay. Lillian, please unmute and... Yes, go ahead, Lillian.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. Just an inquiry in terms of the one-to-one coaching. How do you normally schedule the timing? Is it does it have to be on a Saturday, or you're able to schedule over the weekday?
Great. So that's a great question for everyone's benefit. One of the biggest benefits of one-to-one coaching is it being able to, be scheduled at your own availability. So what I do is I will share my calendar. I'm available on all 7 days. Depending on the free slots I have, you can schedule any day. So it's not only weekend, it's also weekdays as well. I have weekday clients, I have weekend clients, I have morning clients, I have evening clients. So that flexibility is there for one-to-one client to get that ability to book whatever the way they want, Lillian. Any other questions? Does that help?
Yes, it does. And the other bit from foreign countries, do you have PayPal as part of the payment options?
Unfortunately, in Sri Lanka, for some odd reason, we can send money through PayPal, but we cannot receive money, right? So that's why we are using this myfees.lk platform, which is a reputed platform for all the universities and international universities. If you go there, you will see all the Sri Lankan banks are tied up, all the university logos are mentioned. So it's a very premium platform. That's what is currently available for educational institutes. So currently PayPal is not available. Sorry about that, Lily.
And then my last request would be, are you able to extend the offer up to Tuesday to make the payment now that you don't have the PayPal?
The special offer? So the special offer is available locally, maybe for about another 10 minutes, 15 minutes. If not, you have the special offer, which is available for participants, which is the 320,000 Sri Lankan rupee or the 950. That is what would be available beyond that timing that we have mentioned, Lillian.
Up to today?
Yes. So you can get this rate of 320,000 Sri Lankan rupees or 950 US dollars rate because you participated in this workshop.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome. Any other questions? Guys, now is the time to ask questions. If you have any questions, don't be in a dilemma, ask away. So until such time, let me just quickly ask from the participants who are still with me, right? What were your breakthroughs today? Here's an opportunity to quickly unmute and say, what were your breakthroughs in discovering about procrastination and indecisiveness? And we will wrap up the session after that. Who would like to share one of the breakthroughs that they had? Can I see a raise of hands?
Jenny, you have the moment.
Hi, Jenny.
Yeah, I think for me, the breakthrough was the novelty seeker, and realizing that there's always something better or nicer or more fun or more demanding to do than what should be done always. And so that was a huge realization for me. And then also the second breakthrough was, you know, every now and then you hear that thing that says fear of rejection, and I'm a big girl. I'm not scared of rejection. But something you said today really got me. It made me realize that there's definitely something hiding there, and it needs to be poked and prodded and exposed. So I want to thank you, Leon. That was excellent. Well done. Thank you for undoing that for me. I think that might
Thank you,
make a
Jenny. I
big
really appreciate that feedback. That's great to hear. Anyone else who want to share their breakthrough for today? Yes, Reed. You can unmute.
So for me, Leanne, it was being a reformer, I am a big procrastinator, and I could realize how it can be worse because, you know, with the time it becomes our habit, and we don't realize that how this habit is affecting us, and how small things start to affect our day-to-day life and the results associated with that. So it was really a big takeaway for me today, and you were really fantastic to make it so clear in the minds that how do these things are affecting and we are not aware about it. So thank you for bringing this to us.
Thank you, Reed. Appreciate your feedback and sharing your breakthrough. That's
Thank you.
wonderful. Who else have any breakthrough that they would like to share? Anyone else?
Yeah, I realized that this is Mariam actually. Yeah,
Yes, Mariam.
Hi. I realized that all my fears you said about burning it, how you felt, that I took from you from this presentation. And also I realized that I am a in the personality type, I am mix of a lot of types.
Yeah.
And even procrastinating, there mainly is the type 2, but then again I do use the other technique, other types as well. So I thought I learned how to on each step ask myself, why am I procrastinating it, and use that technique for each one that you shared. So thank you very much for that advice. Thank you.
Okay, that's great to hear. Anyone else who would like to share their breakthroughs? You can unmute and directly talk. And I've put 2 phone numbers on the if you want to get in touch with us directly, you can call these numbers. If you're from another country, the country code would be +94. Sorry about forgetting that, +94. And the number, that would be the number to discuss. Anyone else? If not, we are coming to the end of the session. We would be wrapping up. But before wrapping up, I would like to invite you to connect with me. I'm on all social media on the handle Lienkay, Lienkay. Visit the website as well and be in touch, because I would be doing a lot of different types of programs like this. And I love to do free programs to share my knowledge. This is only procrastination and indecisiveness. There'll be a lot more coming in your way. So thank you everyone for joining today's workshop. If there are no questions further, we would be wrapping it up. And so that's it from me. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you so much for a wonderful session.
Thank you, Leanne. It was a wonderful session.
Thank you. Very helpful. Bye.
Leon, I couldn't talk. Great session.
Thank you, Ian, for the great session. Leon, sorry.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Great session. Thank you very much.